There's going to be questions targeted towards VP Social, Academic, and Student Affairs. The President will also have specific questions, but will also be required to answer on every single question. Your question limit for time answering is 1 minute. 10 seconds, I will give you the morning pink slip. Okay? The first question is in regards to administration and us as a student body. What should the relationship between administration and the SRC be at Bishops? What work will you do as chair of life at the university in making sure that students in service are being met and the administration is being held accountable to the students? This is just for Kim.
Okay, so I'd like to start out by saying SRC is completely different than school. We get our funds and our budget from different private and student tuition. So we're completely separate from school. What is nice though is that we do have a great relationship with the administration. We're a small enough school that you get to know the people you're working with, and it means that basically we have a great relationship. Within that, so as president, I will be the chair of the community of life at the university that works to figure out how we can best allocate the student funds that goes towards student services. On that committee, there is 4 students and 3 administrators. These are the students that we voice, and myself as a chair means that we get to guide the discussion. So what we hear from you guys, and what we hear is important from you, we can then put the money into those areas. And it's up to the students to make that decision. So it's not us working for the administration, and it's not them down on us. It's a people partnership to make sure that everything that's given here gets the best wishes and students.
Alright. Moving on to services and finances. This is geared towards the VPs of Student Affairs. Kim, you'll answer last for each remaining question, and you have a couple that are just for you too. First question. The speaking order for this will be Rhonda, followed by Jason, followed by Sean. Bishops has been continually welcoming large incoming class sizes. Yet there appears to be fewer rooms to house first years. Reports of 3 two-room residence rooms, 2 in block rooms. Have we reached our student cap? And what will you do in your position to help guarantee students remain individuals and not a number?
So, the best thing to do is just to speak with students. As a student ambassador, I know it's a real concern in terms of not being a student member. The most important thing is, what people don't know is that it's hard to get into Bishops. The admissions to get into Bishops is getting better. Our incoming class was 83%. So as student affairs, I'll be working with, hoping to work with the recruitment office and admissions office to make it easier for them to help to help them pick. I'm so sorry. That's a really good question.
I think it's really important that for the Bishops experience, you are not a number. And I don't think at this point you are a number at Bishops. I feel like you are who you are. And your professors, if you're not in an introduction class or people, actually understand who you are. One of the great policies we have here is the open door policy. Your professors, they're willing to meet with you. And that's a great thing. It's the culture. Bishops University has a culture where people like to get into it. People like to get to know you. No matter if it's a student to student or if it's a professor to student. It is a great culture. And I think even if we were to add more students into the numbers at Bishops, that culture would still be able to remain here, okay? In regards to the president's question, I believe you have to come at this from different viewpoints. Some students are going to think, oh my god, I'm going to be crammed in one room with 2 people. Hot damn, I don't like this. But other people are going to be like, you know what? I'm going to get close and I'm going to enjoy the experience to the fullest. Thank you.
profs care too much, the administration cares too much, and us fellow students care too much for that ever to happen. In regards to the admissions, we keep going up. Bishop's is becoming one of the best schools in Canada. Slowly but surely, we are becoming the best undergraduate school in Canada. I have visited many different universities. I was accepted at many different universities. But the business department here, I can actually meet the profs. I actually went to attend lectures. I was a student, they knew my name first day. It's all about getting to know your profs, and it's just the effort that the students make that actually make you a name, not a number. It's the responsibility of the students, not just student affairs, not just administrations, to make sure that you become your own person, you become not a number. Thanks.
So, in 2006, we had an entry class of around 300 people. Now we're up to about 800, 900, but it has leveled off. Next year, we might have maybe an extra 15 people than we did this year. That being said, they've taken into account these extra numbers. Even in first semester, there were a couple of crowded beds and beds. Now we have a couple of empty beds. And the people who have been hired for the school, teachers, admin, staff, everyone was hired with the idea that they were getting to work with students, not numbers. And so regardless if the numbers maybe go up an extra 100, we still have the people that we're working with, the administration, who want to treat you like a student. So that doesn't change anything. I'm Kim, I'm not missing a number. Frankly, I don't even remember half of it. And neither do any of the admin. So I want to reassure you all that you will remain yourself, a name, instead of just a number.
Second question for student affairs. Student services have been an ongoing issue, including access to approachable counselors and a lackluster disability services. While the new initiatives of the guidance counselors have been put in place, budget cuts have canceled such initiatives. Is academic advising an issue you'd like to push for? And do you have any specific issues you'd like to see addressed in student services for next year?
In terms of student affairs, with the budget cuts that have happened, I know that people are concerned with that. However, the school is doing the best they can, the SSR are doing the best they can to offer as much services as they can. So tutoring, mentoring, also they added a new part-time psychologist to help the learning disabilities department, to help with counseling as well. So everybody is making the effort to push to make sure that you get all the service you need. It does not affect the students themselves. So I am concerned about that. I'm hoping that the new part-time psychologists that we have now will actually become full-time, because counseling and learning disabilities is a very important student service that we have here. I'm hoping that they also help with career counseling as well, because the path that we decide to take in the future is really important. So student services is really important to me, and that's the part that I really want to focus on. Thank you.
It is my understanding that in the student services area, the only cuts that were made this year in regards to the funding for our school was the holdback of the starting position in the disability center. So currently we are running it with the same services to the students that we were at last year. So the only concern that I would have is if the students' number that go to the school raised last year, from last year to this year, then that's where we would see a discrepancy. That's where the need would be. So there'd be more pressure there. One of the things that I would like to address is that this is an excellent opportunity because we have students here that are being trained to work as these people who we hire, right? So it's an excellent opportunity for people who want to go to grad school and want to get involved. So maybe they can volunteer in these areas and help students get to the right area that they want to, that they need the help with, right? Do they really need to go to a counselor? Maybe they need to go with a spiritual worker. Maybe we could just offer them some extra resources from Lensville and not from the school's budget. Okay? I don't know. I think that's a good idea.
Alright, currently there has been no cuts to the budget for student affairs. I just need to address that. As well, the biggest thing is maintaining. It's not the big thing about encouraging more, it's maintaining what we currently have concerning the situation that is arising in Quebec. In regards to what we need to look forward to the most, is there are career and employment services. I had a meeting with students the other day, and that's the whole thing is awareness. Students aren't using the services that we provide officially, and that's the biggest thing I believe that we need to take care of.
So once again, I just want to clarify, there is no cuts to services. So you still have the exact same amount of services. All we cut was a position that had been proposed. So you aren't missing anything, you just chose not to go on with the convenience of having a director of counseling and disabilities. So you still have those services, they are still available. Like I said, at most, the number of students we're going to have next year is going to be 15 students. So for this year, we've been doing a great job. The students who need to see counselors and see them. At the beginning, we actually hired a new counselor, Bill. My God. So I'm just saying, you know, we've met the demand, and we continue to the demand. And if any of you guys need any help, please go to the second floor. Not just for counseling, there's every other sort of service. They're there and they want to help you out.
Hey guys, again, I just want to remind everybody that's at the bar that, and in the back, that even though you might be talking quietly, there's a lot of feedback for the candidates and it's hard for people to hear what they're saying. So just try to keep it down as much as possible, okay guys? Thanks.
Everybody shut the fuck up and listen!
Listen. All right, our next question. The new Parti Québécois government freezing tuition rates in the province. There's also a cut to university spending. The SRC has passed a resolution saying that the major impediment to university funding in Quebec is the low contribution of students. Do you think that students should pay more for their education? How do you interpret this decision made by the General Assembly? And this is going just for Kim.
Well, what I will say to this question is that I myself pay for my own tuition. I do it through a combination of both the government loans and bank loans. It's really unfortunate that the government has cut that money, but as students, we are in a unique situation being at Bishops. We're a small English school in a Quebec province, a French province. For us to ensure that this Bishops experience that we've all had can continue on for the next generations. My little sister has accepted this coming next year. For her to make sure that for her 4 years, she will have the same experience, I'm okay giving more because I feel like the Bishop's experience is worth it. Can any of you say that you wouldn't be willing to pay a bit more for what you have here? And to pay less and to not have this experience would be highly unfortunate. So, in terms of the Quebec tuition, I'd say we're a school that's split 50-50 on whether you wanted to raise it or not. It's something that we can get into, and depending on how the summit goes at the end of February, we can have those discussions. But personally, what I'd say is I really appreciate this Bishop's experience, and it's worth every penny.